and everyone's broke. Life expectancy is no joke. There's a man out there whose name rhymes with fiddler. He's as serious as they come, no kidder. So the men saddle up, kiss their wives goodbye. From fear and danger, there's no time to be shy. And what did we do all of this for? So you can be a glorified plumber, an abstraction whore. ESS is too painful, so you replicate 7 layers of steps to mitigate. Easy work that's required to get you far, but we ask too much, it's too hard. Meanwhile, we go off and fight for you, while you abstract plain things into poo. Real men deal with everything they see. They don't hide behind a rust they use see. There's no memory, safety in the battlefield. A real man's language you couldn't wield. You pretend like you're a war hero, but your abstractions add up to 0. There's no way we went out there fighting the good fight, so you can be in here creating that cold blight, while the moon sways above you telling you to stop. You just keep on shipping that putrid ugly code slop. If you think vanilla JS is so tough, and you think React's the right stuff, then why do I cry when I open a website built by you, you small peen parasite? These abstractions won't make you a man, no matter how complex your plan. Real men deal with everything they see. They don't hide behind a rust they use see. There's no memory, safety in the battlefield. A real man's language you couldn't wield. You pretend like you're a war hero, but your abstractions add up to 0. When I'm back from the war, medals pinned, I'll drop by, take your girlfriend, with her I'll sin. It's quite clear you can't deal with real code, let alone manage your pathetic abode. I'll go wrangle memory without your guardrails, while you look back on your life, a series of fails. On the backs of great coders you came in and rode. I will not save you from your pathetic code. Real men deal with everything they see. They don't hide behind rust they use see. There's no memory, safety in the battlefield. A real man's language you couldn't wield. You pretend like you're a war hero, but your abstractions add up to 0. When I'm back from the war, medals pinned, I'll drop by, take your girlfriend, with her I'll sin. It's quite clear you can't deal with real code, let alone manage your pathetic abode. I'll go wrangle memory without your guardrails, while you look back on your life, a series of fails. On the backs of great coders you came in and rode. I will not save you from your pathetic code.
What's up, everyone? I'm almost ready.
We have got you feeling fly, cold in the mess, building complex websites, bro, what a stress. Dumbing down devs, making them feel blessed, lost in the JSX, call it a fucking test. Dependencies stacked like a dealer's stash, props flowing everywhere, what a fucking clash. Flexing on GitHub, but your skills don't flash. Lost in abstraction, homie, that's trash. Fuck React, it's just a bluff. JavaScript wizards acting tough. Wrapped in components, ain't no cuff. Slaves to frameworks, had enough. Virtual DOM, think it's slick, you novice. Real world call, show your lack of prowess. Promise chains breaking, fuck your solace. Code base tangle, worse than fucking shoelaces. State management, bro, need some meds. Reducer functions killing my fucking head. Redux context, spinning threads. Real devs cut through, no React feds. Fuck React, it's just a bluff. JavaScript wizards acting tough. Wrapped in components, ain't no cuff. Slaves to frameworks, had enough.
Think I've got my articles. Let me turn down the music. Yeah, I think I'm ready. Welcome in, everyone. Hey, Pure on Twitch, good to see you. Hey, Shreyas. Hey, Laughing Panda. Hey, Adoraz. Thanks for popping in, you guys. I appreciate it. Let me just quickly do something here. Okay. All right, there we are. Hey, folks. What's up? Welcome in, everyone, on all the different platforms, YouTube and Twitch and LinkedIn and X and all the good stuff. Thanks for popping in, everyone. I have I kind of have a mixed bag of stuff to go over today. It's not kind of thematic as it normally is. It's a little bit different today, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna be fine. All right, I'll get you through the daily tech news. So right off the bat, I just wanted to declare the death of Leetcode. I think it's about time someone declares it. I have long said that Leetcode is a terrible, terrible way to interview programmers and judge their capabilities. I've said this for a long time, and people defended it. The people who defended it the worst, the people that really irked me the wrong way, are the people who are kind of neutral about it, who are like, well, it has like use cases here or there, or like maybe in some cases it might be useful, like blah blah. They were like wishy-washy about it. They couldn't take a stance on it. There's rarely, if ever, any good use case for a Leetcode interview. It's not a good measurement of someone's skills. It's not. It's not even like a little bit. All it is a memorization technique. You just have to memorize an algorithm and then recall that algorithm when asked. That's all it is. And even if I'm completely wrong, and it's not has nothing to do with memorizing any algorithms at all, it's still also a way to identify yourself as a sheep, a company that is willing to put you through that kind of an interview process. Essentially just want someone who will just do as they're asked, do as they're told. And you just play into that. So just all around, I've always said it's a bad practice. And I think the industry is, at least other programmers, are starting to see it that way. So we covered, I believe last week, we covered Leroy, I think. And he created that Leetcode software that runs like it runs over top of your interview process on your screen if you're doing like a video interview. And man, did that ruffle some feathers, and I think rightfully so. And now if I go over to Reddit here, okay, nice. And essentially this guy says the exact same thing that I've been saying for a long time. He doesn't consider, I don't consider myself an exceptionally smart person, but I can do my job well. I've been doing it for 10 years. I've done it in different companies working on different domains. I've done it in startups and on Fortune 500 firms where I'm currently at. I'm well regarded by my peers. They even put senior in my job title, and I can't for the life of me solve hard and even some medium Leetcode problems. Whoever this person is, states that these problems do not represent what you actually do on a daily basis. They're not routine. There's usually a library for it. Or you can have a logical reasoning path that will get you to the point that you need to get to if you come across a problem that might be related to a Leetcode problem. However, for the most part, nobody actually uses these. Maybe not nobody, but it's like exceedingly rare. Exceedingly rare. And this, I think, harkens to a real issue with the hiring process in the tech industry. We have all the wrong people hiring in all the wrong ways. We do not know how to properly value judge programmers. And this has been made worse recently with the advent of AI. And the reason why is because AI now allows you to fake your resume, fake your online profile to some degree, not fully. That can be a bit complicated, but at least on video, you can deep fake your own face. We covered that on a previous tech news stream. So all of these things are made worse, and the hiring process has not caught up to the most recent, state of things. What I mean by that is they haven't had their come to Jesus moment to realize that they're hiring in all the wrong ways. For big companies like Google or Facebook or Meta or whatever, typically they can get away with it because what they'll do is they'll kind of have an acceptable loss mechanism where they'll go, well, we'd rather hire more right people than wrong people, and these processes can kind of help us to weed out people who might otherwise actually be quite hireable and desirable for us, but they're weeded out by the process. But that's okay because we get more people who fit into our mold. But there's only one Google, there's only one Meta, there's only so many of these companies. You probably don't work in one. You probably don't run one. And for you, that level of acceptable loss is kind of unacceptable. So, like I said before, that needs to change. And that's probably going to fall on a lot of deaf ears, except for maybe programmers now are kind of realizing that the entire process is bunk. So maybe some of the programmers who are involved in the hiring process in some of these companies will actually say something to their managers and their executives and so on. And they'll say, no, I will not participate in doing a Leetcode thing, not because I don't want to help the company hire good programmers, but because I do want to help the company hire good programmers. So in this day and age, what is a good hiring practice? Well, I've gone over that before. If you want my take on a good hiring practice, even with AI deep faking people's profiles, you're going to have to keep watching my streams. I'm not going to give it away on this one for free unless someone drops like 50 subs or something. Then I might say it again. But otherwise, I mean, it's on my YouTube live streams in the past. I've said it before, and I'll probably say it again. I'll go over it again at some point, but not right now. I'm going to make you all pay for it. Of course, Shreyas is here, so he's just does nothing but chat. I'm not gonna catch up with that. What's up, Laughley? What's up, Ghost? You guys can chat with Shreyas over there, all right? He'll keep you chatting for hours. Okay, what's up next? Let me pull up the next article. This one. And I'll switch my camera here. OpenAI's Geppetto helps spammers send a blast of 80,000 messages that bypassed filters. Company didn't notice its chatbot was being abused for at least 4 months. Oh, just another day. Just another day where AI makes life so much worse. Spammers used OpenAI to generate messages that were unique to each recipient. which is kind of smart, honestly, allowing them to bypass spam detection filters and blast unwanted messages to more than 80,000 websites in 4 months, researchers said on Wednesday. That was yesterday, I believe. The finding, documented in a post published by security firm SentinelOne Sentinel Labs, underscores the double-edged sword wielded by large language models. So what they did was they prompted with, "You are a helpful assistant. I need you to help me send emails to particular people and create like a template." So you can see that they generated a template for the prompt, and then I want you to fill in these certain aspects of the template, and I want you to tailor it and keep it unique every time, right? And so what they were able to do was bypass filters that do global net checks, and these net checks will determine that like one type of email or one email that they've detected and flagged as spam is spam, and they'll look at the structure and see repeated uses of it regardless of who it goes to and just block it for everybody. But if you make the email unique enough and you change it between each send, then it just continues to get bypassed, because every time that you send the new, more uniquely generated email, it is not filtered right away. So it lands on at least some people's inboxes before it gets caught. So these, it seems kind of harmless. Like it's kind of like a low tier spamming, but you can see how something like this could be used for other things. Like, we've gone over this before. You can generate emails that target the target like CEOs, like executives, and the way that they talk. And you just say something like, "Hey, you are now working for this and this company. I want you to write me an email that is in the middle of an exchange between the CEO and the CTO of the company, and it requires a call to action to click this link and go to this website." And it can make it somewhat realistic enough that an executive could fall for that, because it looks real and it plays on the fact that a lot of executives just don't have the time to thoroughly read a good email. And so they'll just click on links. That's just an example, right? And you can do this in mass now. That's the other thing. Not only can you generate these things that are reasonably kind of not undetectable, but I can't think of a better word right now, but they'll pass the sniff test, but you can also do it in mass. You can create a whole bunch of them. So be careful out there, okay? Because I don't see this getting any better anytime soon. I don't think there's going to be a stop to this. I think it will get worse before it gets better. So just be careful out there and make sure that you are diligently watching everything that comes across your desk, so to speak, okay? Because this stuff is getting out of hand. What's up, Pierre? CEO should be automated. Agreed. Okay, next up. Hackers spied on 100 U.S. bank regulators' emails for over a year. Doesn't this make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside? Hackers intercepted about 103 bank regulators' emails for more than a year, gaining access to highly sensitive financial information, according to two people familiar with the matter in a draft letter to Congress seen by Bloomberg News. The attackers were able to monitor employee emails at the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency after breaking into an administrator's account, said the people, asking to not be identified because the information is not public. OCC on February 12th confirmed that there had been unauthorized activity on its systems after a Microsoft security team notified OCC the day before about unusual network behavior, according to the draft letter. The OCC is an independent bureau of the Treasury Department that regulates and supervises all national banks, federal savings associations, and the federal branches and agencies of foreign banks, together holding trillions of dollars in assets. Ooh boy. And then they cover some other cybersecurity incidents that happened around, like, for example, China having access to US telecom carriers and having, like, access to stuff they shouldn't have. But just imagine for a moment, I just want you to imagine that you are one of these people. You're one of these people who, not the bank regulator, not the person who's got their email watched. No. You're one of the people who was watching the emails. Imagine you had access to that. What kinds of things could you do? The two most immediate ideas I would have are demonstrating on dark websites that I have this information and selling it to the highest bidder. For example, investors who would like to pump money, use this to pump money or dump money from the stock market. They would pay me a pretty dollar for this information. Or if I wanted to do it myself, if I was a person who, like, maybe I'm sitting on, like, I don't know, $1 million of Bitcoin that I hacked, and, I got some inside scoop information, right? Now, that seems like, oh, boo-hoo. You're the hackers will attack the rich people. Okay, fair, right? Because, like, rich people are rich, and not the, us peasants often say not nice things about rich people. Okay, fine. But here's another thing you could do. You could destroy regular people's lives because, like it or not, regular people have their savings and their retirement funds hooked into the systems that you might be playing around with or screwing up. So, yes, this unfortunately does have a risk of ruining the lives of common people like you and me. And that's a sad part of this that sometimes gets overlooked. This is why, again, it's really, really important for us in our world as programmers, just generally speaking, and people in the programming space, in the tech space. We need to get our heads right, because right now we are ass backwards. We are focused on pretty much all the wrong metrics, all the wrong goals, and we're causing ourselves more harm than we think. It's actually net negative, the way that we operate the entire industry. It's got to stop. We have to stop, but the only way it's going to stop is if something large and dramatic happens that cannot be ignored. And I think I've said it before, Textradamus here has said it. We're a year away. We're a year away from that. Something big and dramatic is going to happen. Okay, I'm going to switch to a few robot articles because I thought some of these were kind of cool or scary. Let's switch over to this one. Insect-sized jumping robot can traverse challenging terrains and carry heavy payloads. This thing, it can traverse challenging terrains and carry heavy payloads. So this was done by MIT. Insect-scale robots can squeeze into places their larger counterparts can't, like deep into a collapsed building to search for survivors after an earthquake. However, as they move through rubble, tiny crawling robots might encounter tall obstacles they can't climb over or slanted surfaces they will slide down. While aerial robots could avoid these hazards, the amount of energy required for flight would severely limit how far the robot can travel into the wreckage before it needs to return to base to recharge. To get the Wow. To get the best of both locomotion methods, MIT researchers developed a hopping robot that can leap over tall obstacles and jump across slanted or uneven surfaces while using far less energy than an aerial robot. So this thing, this thing jumps. It can jump 20 centimeters into the air, or 4 times its height, at a lateral speed of about 30 centimeters per second, and it has no trouble hopping across ice, wet surfaces, and uneven soil, or even onto a hovering drone. That's insane. Now, I thought this was really cool, and I really like the idea of having these tiny robots that are programmed to go in and save lives, for example, or like exactly the example they gave here. Go into a collapsed building, search for survivors after an earthquake. That's great. Can anybody think of any negative uses? Just, can anybody think of any negative ones? Everything has a negative, doesn't it? But still, I'd still think this is cool. Um, just saying. I have another kind of same line, along the same lines, robot one. Here we go. Magnetic micro robot swarm enables 3D imaging of vascular networks. How would you feel about having micro robots in your blood? Magnetic micro robots. How would you feel? So essentially what they've done here, this is from here we go. Shenzhen Institute of Artificial Intelligence and Robotics for Society and the Chinese University of Hong Kong. So they just pump these magnetic robots that just go through your vascular system. And the intent here is that the machine outside, so you can kind of see the machine, scanning you on the outside, will zoom in on the magnetic robots because the magnetism will kind of indicate where it should look. And they can discover issues with like your blood flow, for example. Now, I kind of had a thought about this, which is if you're at the point where you have something serious like a blockage, for example, you're probably not going to care too much that you have magnetic micro robots in your blood. Your priority concern will be fix the blockage, find it and fix it. Okay, so like it's weird to have magnetic micro robots in your blood. But if you're at the point where your life is on the line, you're probably going to be like, just do whatever you need to do. And if this actually helps, then good, it helped. But it's weird. It's a little weird. And I don't know how to say this. And I think I'm just going to try and avoid saying this in full. But I think some of you in chat, based on previous conversations we've had offline, are going to understand where I'm going with this. I just have to find the correct wording so I don't get in trouble here. Hang on. I got this. I can do this. Can you imagine other injections that might have magnetic micro robots in them in the future without you knowing about it? just 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 what's up, Johnny? What's up, Lightspeed? What's up, MyTech on YouTube? What's up, Zero X? What's up, she's inner space when? I'm just saying, Are there other? He's gonna make a cyborg without my wife knowing about it. At what point does your wife become cyborg? How many magnetic micro robots does it take to turn into a cyborg? Like, what's a threshold breaker between like your wife's a regular human being and now she's a cyborg? What is that number? Purecoin, what's the number? I need to know this number for no reason. I just need to know the damn number. I need it. I just need it, okay? What's the percentage? How many of these? Oh, Theseus, yeah. That's right. Wife of Theseus. That's right. Yes. Thank you, Laughly. That's exactly right. Okay. Let me pull up one more. Not that one. Which one? I thought I had another robot one, but I guess I don't. Oh, man. I don't have another robot one. I thought I did. Okay, let me pull up a different one then. How about a depressing one, okay? It depends on the magnetic coupling constant. Thanks, Lightspeed. All right, here we go. Here's another one. 348 million Discord messages are allegedly up for sale. Have you ever said something racist on Discord? Have you ever said something that you would be embarrassed if a family member found out that you said? Have you ever posted a picture that you might regret being out in public? And have you done any of the above on Discord? Be careful out there, boys. Be careful. Yeah, Shreyas is in the minority. Okay, he's in the minority, so it's okay for him to be racist, okay? Hundreds of millions of Discord messages have been scraped and are now for sale on hacker forums. At least that's what the seller claims. A threat actor is offering over 340 million scraped messages for sale on the well-known cybercrime forum. The messages are allegedly extracted from nearly 1,000 public Discord servers. According to the listing, the majority of the records comes from users in the United States, France, and Russia, spanning nearly a year's worth of conversations. Some of the scraped data includes user ID, username, display name, nickname, message, guild ID, channel ID, message ID, reply ID, timestamp. The leaked dataset contains no private messages or non-public data, only content scraped from publicly accessible Discord servers. So the issue is exactly what's going on here. The issue is not that these things are private, because they're not. It's public. Anyone can find them. It's the aggregated data. And you can use this data to target individual people. It's public on purpose, but in aggregate, it can paint pictures for you that you can use in nefarious ways. And that's worth something to someone. People are going to buy it. Every one of the Discord messages to Midjourney, imagine sexy woman. Yeah. Have you actually met the Greeks, though? A battle. You never want to meet the Greeks. You don't want to do that. Yeah, probably against TOS. It's probably against TOS. I would imagine it is, but I don't know that for sure. But yes, I could see that being true. Okay, so that's it might seem harmless because it's public data, but it's not exactly harmless. It's impossible to tell who actually wrote the messages, so it's not impossible. What are you talking about? It's not impossible to tell who wrote the messages. Yeah, they can be. Yes. So 0x, you're like, oh man, I'm having trouble with English today. Usernames can be per server, and the official username can be anonymous to who they really are. Yes, you're right. You're right. That can be true. It can also be true that you can find a username or a nickname or a display name and Google it and find a real person. That can also be true. So you can, like, there are people who are going to recycle usernames and whatnot. They're not going to do what you're rightfully claiming that some people do. You can cross-reference like a username and find a real person based on that. So I don't think it's impossible in whole. I just think it's impossible depending on who you're targeting. So if you're one of the people who does not like relate their online persona to their offline persona, you're probably all right. But if you are, right? Okay. If you're a hungry mother effer, have you ever been hungry? And you really needed food? And so you pop open Grubhub? You're like, bro, get me some food. 17 million Grubhub passwords and other data exposed, hackers claim. Attackers claim they have their hands in a whopping 70 million lines of Grubhub's data, including millions of hashed passwords, phone numbers, and email addresses. The company did report a data breach in early February. Cyber crooks posted an ad for data on a data leak forum, claiming responsibility for the Grubhub data breach earlier this year. The online food delivery platform announced it indeed suffered a data breach via a third-party service provider in February. Now, fine, the passwords are hashed, okay? You can have names and email addresses, which can be used to do, I mean, you could do phishing campaigns, you can do spamming, you can be scamming, etc. You could even scam Grubhub accounts. Like, okay. That is actually not the primary reason why I wanted to bring this article up. I'm noticing a trend doing the daily tech news streams. This right here. The amount of times that I have read articles like this where the blame for the breach is a third-party service is starting to become noticeable to me. That is to say, I'm reading it so often that I'm seeing a pattern emerge. People like Ginger Bill, for example, of Odin, and others, I can't remember who else, but there are some other kind of like, prominent people that you might look up to, etc. Or, you might accept their advice as of higher value. Let's put it that way. Myself included, and many others in chat. So a lot of viewers who have been watching my streams and me building my stupid video game without any, building everything by hand, literally everything, including the C standard library, building some of those functions by hand. We've been saying that the third-party package management services with Python and Composer and NPM and Rust crates and all that stuff, they are causing a net negative to code bases. The reason why is because we don't have enough qualified people who can value judge the third-party services they're importing. And you can extend this reasoning to libraries and frameworks like React and Svelte and Vue and Tailwind and Laravel, and take your pick. We have lost our ability to appropriately determine or discern good third-party services from bad third-party services. And third-party services come in all forms. They can be third-party services like AWS. They can be third-party services like a package that you bring in. It's a third party providing a service for you, whether it's solving a problem or giving you like a server to run your thing on. The more that you depend on these third-party services without any checks, the more trouble you're going to get in. And what these third-party things do is they mask the long-term trouble. They mask it by giving you short-term gain. The short-term gain is, I got to X goal a lot quicker, and it makes it really easy for you to negate or even not consider long-term consequences. And by the time those long-term consequences rear their ugly heads, it is too late. So that's why I wanted to bring this up, because this is happening a lot. I'm going to keep an eye on how many times I see this over the next few daily tech news streams, because I feel like I've been seeing it like every second stream almost, and it's getting out of hand. Laziness, yeah, just one more sass, bro. Yeah. CUDA just got Python support. It's way more useful than JS outside of the disaster of web dev. Possibly, I don't know about that. It technically is an OS and firmware third party. Yeah, it is. It's just that it's much closer to the metal, and there's your code requires you to operate within that domain. So maybe a good way to clarify third party would be third party services that are abstractions. Maybe that's a better way to clarify third party. It's third party services that abstract from your capability, understanding, I don't know, like trying to understand, what you're doing, that kind of thing. I might have to think about how to say it better, because I can agree that it's not the best way to say it. Is SQLite an abstraction? SQLite is technically an abstraction, yes. Isn't it? It would be. You could technically make the argument that it's an abstraction, absolutely. But what so okay, so there's a reasonable abstraction level, which I think is implied, but maybe it needs to be explicitly, maybe I have to find a way to like load it right into the definition. So if let's say you're saying something like, oh well, I don't know, Zig is some kind of an abstraction. Like, let's say that's what your argument was, right? Then your rebuttal could be, well, what are you going to do, bro? Are you going to write assembly? And like, obviously not. I would still make the argument, like, why not? Like, tell me what's like morally wrong about going back to assembly. But I get the argument that like, that's not what you would actually do, because that, it just wouldn't work in the current context, in the current landscape, right? So there are certain abstractions which I think break a threshold. And maybe that's where I need to come up with a definitional term for what that is, right? So I would have to come up with some kind of like explanation for what is an abstraction that breaks the threshold of usefulness, maybe, or creates an abstraction that kind of like dumbs you down. Like, I would consider AI a crazy abstraction that speed runs your brain atrophy. And the AI seems to be like one that people can pick up clearly is a pretty advanced abstraction. So I have to think about this a bit. Useless abstractions, yeah, but you still have to define like what makes them useless, right? Is SQLite a useless abstraction? There are plenty of people who are going to internalize that argument and go, well, it was useful to me. React was useful to me on my team. I had 100 people on my team, and React saved us. Like, I've literally heard that argument. So I don't know. I have to give that some thought. but it does have to be, the definition has to be a lot clearer. I agree. Should I do one more? Let me do one more. Let me find one here. Should we end on a positive note? Should we do a positive one? Let's do a positive one, okay? One time that AI actually has a use. Engineers bring sign language to life using AI to translate in real time. So I think we can all just immediately tell what's happening. Like, I don't think I need to read the entire article. I think you get it. So you're doing sign language, and then AI will determine your hand gesture for, to translate into, written words. And I'm okay with this. I don't think this is a bad use of AI. I think this is actually quite a helpful use of AI. If AI can do these kinds of translations and do them really, really fast, I'm cool with that. All the problems that we've covered with AI in the past all are still applicable. So for example, what if AI translates it incorrectly, but is quite confident in doing so? So what if someone is hand gesturing to you, I would like for you not to take advantage of me, but the AI mistranslates and confidently says, I would like for you to take advantage of me. It can happen. However, if these problems could be resolved in a niche, narrow space like this one, I think this would actually be a good use of AI. I don't see a problem if you can get the accuracy. Well, I mean, they say they achieve 98.2% accuracy. I don't know how much I trust these numbers right now, given that how many studies we've gone over where AI is quite inaccurate on almost everything, regardless of its training data. But I think if you narrow in and focus on specific use cases for AI, I think this would be a positive one. I'm okay with this. This isn't so bad. And no engineering jobs were taken, like mine. Positivity is for losers and self-help gurus. Hey, what's going on, Lem? Good to see you, man. My love life is an abstraction. Technically, yes, it is. Usefulness is subjective. Yes. Okay, that's it. That's what I have for today. That's all I got for today. I will be back tomorrow with more daily tech news. I still have a few lined up. I just don't have the time. I gotta go. I'm also not feeling very well today, so I might need to chill out for a while. But that's it. First of all, I appreciate everybody watching. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the viewers on X, on Twitch, on YouTube, all of that. Hopefully there was some useful information there, and hopefully you feel good about Leetcode dying. And if you like what I'm doing and you want me to do more of it, as much as it pains me to have to play the algorithm game, it's the only way that I can expand my reach. I try to get this information out there. I try to encourage programmers to do better. I try and tell people, the negative consequences of the crap we're doing in the tech industry and how we can do better. I argue with people on X all the time, including AI cultists. And if you want me to do more of it and reach more people, then I need your help. And the way that you can help me is by playing the algorithm. Even though I hate algorithms, think they're a cancer to society, but they are what they are. So do the like, do the subscribe, do the repost and the sharing and all of that. I don't like asking it. I really don't, but I don't know how else to do this right now. You know, if I want to talk to more people and get the word out. So I appreciate all the people who have done that so far. I have like, I don't know, 16,000 subs on YouTube or something. I don't know when that happened. That's like a lot. And like hundreds of views on my videos now. So I appreciate all of you doing that. That's crazy growth on the YouTube side. But more. The only thing I can ask is for more. I don't need your money. If you want to send me money, I won't turn it down, but I would rather you send me work. I will work for the money, and I'd rather that you help me spread the message that I'm trying to spread. Spread the arguments, the logical arguments I'm trying to make, and try and make a change in the industry so that we don't blow up. Right? That's what I'm trying to avoid. Okay, folks. I will see you tomorrow. I think on, I want to say Saturday. I believe on Saturday, I am planning to do a chill video game stream. I'm going to go back to working on the video game. It's either Saturday or Sunday. I keep threatening to do it and I keep backing out. That's my fault. I let you all down. Next stream, you can all punch me in the face. Otherwise, have a good day. Have a good night, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I appreciate all of you out there. Stay safe, would you? Please stay safe. It's dangerous out there. Stay safe, all right? Peace.